Good morning, my fellow adventurers. Welcome back to day 3 here at Morgan Monroe State Forest. Beautiful morning. Got up about a half an hour ago. We slept in until about 9 o'clock. Really need the extra sleep because we didn't sleep great the night before last. Last night wasn't too bad. We did a little bit of sliding. Alex woke up a couple of times to a couple little sounds in the woods, things like that, but nothing major. Much better sleep last night than we had the night before, I believe. But we've got everything out of the tent, getting ready to pack up. We're eating a breakfast this morning. Alex is eating some granola bars they have. I'm actually going to eat a big thing of oatmeal. I'm really hungry this morning. We do only have 2 miles back to the Jeep if need be. Really depends on if we can find an unoccupied site between here and there. Because, you know, like I said last night, a lot of the weekend warriors with the Memorial Day weekend have come in and occupied sites. Just setting up for the weekend, I guess. I mean, it's okay. It is what it is. I mean, it's supposed to be a backpacking loop, but you know, these people, like I said, there's a trailhead right here. They're going to pile into these sites as much as possible. But yeah, beautiful morning. The temps probably already in the mid 60s, so it's definitely a lot different than a couple of days ago when we got up and it was actually really cool, and in the mid to low 40s. So much more comfortable today. It's supposed to be a really nice day, nice warm weather tonight. I think it's actually supposed to get to close to 80, maybe even a little low 80s here, depending on what the weather has said now. But we're going to go ahead and eat breakfast, get packed up, and we'll see you on the trail, guys. So guys, we're on trail. It's a little bit later in the day. It's like 11:45 actually. We kind of took our time getting packed up, just a relaxing day. We knew yesterday would be more miles, and we knew today not as many. Like I said, it's 2 miles to the Jeep. So unless we find a site, that's all we'll have to do today. Because if we can't find a site, we've already seen a number of people coming in, so we wouldn't be surprised we won't find a site out this direction. And if we don't, we're probably just going to head home, because I don't want to have to try to fight people to get a site. And you know, I mean, we could probably make one. If we can do that, we'll do that as well. But for now, the plan is to try to find a site over the next 2 miles and just camp. It's going to be a long day camp, which will be fine. We'll just kind of relax. We do want to try to get signal at least at some point in time, and let the family know what's going on, because we haven't talked to them since about 4 o'clock yesterday. So it's been almost 24 hours since we've had any contact. And just peace of mind for them. If nothing else, we can let them know what's going on. But we're heading down to this creek. We're going to filter up all of our water. That way, if we would find an acceptable site on the way out, we can camp and not have any issues. Hopefully, you know, everything's not full this early in the morning. But I know a lot of people around here will come in and camp, and they'll stay 2 or 3 nights in the same site. So if that happens, unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to stay tonight. So, but we're going to see. We're playing it by ear, kind of letting fate decide what we do today. But the creek is right over there, and we're going to be filtering water up. Need about 2 liters total, I believe, and we should be full. And it looks like we got a little bit of steps right here, Alex, but they're going down. Bad thing is, there probably steps on the other side. Not really steps. It looks like they've shorted up a little bit, is what it amounts to. They just didn't want the trail to wash out all the way down through here, because it's a little bit steeper. So we went ahead and got water just down here past that bridge. And for your reference, there are multiple sites back over here. There's like one here, one there, and there's one back there at least. So if you guys come in, this would be a cool site, area to camp for overnight. Right here at water, it's good, clear, clean water that's flowing. It's the best creek we've seen since we got in here. But we're not staying here because we have no signal. And 2, we kind of like to get up on the ridge. And like I said, I mean, this is actually only about 2 miles from the trailhead. If you take the Shelter Rock Trail down this direction. Rock Shelter Trail. Yes, I keep getting it wrong, but you know, that trail. Pretty area. Kind of wetlands down in probably be a little marshy in the spring. Been a couple of bridges we've crossed. But yeah, we are completely filtered up and good to go for the day. as long as we can find a site. And like I said, if we can't, if everything's full or we just don't see anything we really like, I guess we'll head back to the Jeep and go home, which I'm okay with. Oh, see, here's another site, and there's actually someone on back over there in a hammock. So there's actually 2 sites right here too, guys. So that's kind of cool. Multiple sites right through here. If you do the actual low gap trail, this is about 4.5 miles in, all the way around. Here's another small site. That one's kind of cute. I like that one. This bodes well though, they're not full.
All these little wildflowers smell so good right now.
Yeah.
They have like a sweet smell to them.
These little flowers like this, so there's a very fragrant odor in the air. Real sweet. Sounds like there's a road up here. Of course, we are near a trailhead. So you can definitely hit this trailhead and hit any of these sites as well. Future reference, Alex. Make the 3-hour drive and then literally camp right here at the trailhead. Like I said, the one problem is you don't have cell signal. Like I said, honestly, if we had cell signal, I probably would have stayed at one of those sites. I wouldn't have minded. Hike a half a mile and be like, all right, we're good. Got a mile and a half tomorrow. Skip this incline today. I see steps. Yeah. Here's a trailhead. We're the next trailhead over. That's got 8. This one's a little bit dry right through here compared to that one we were at. It's still flowing though, so that's good water as well. Well, we actually made it up that incline. We actually got a little bit of signal, and we've been making our way along the path. It's pretty flat up here. Got a couple ups and downs, not too bad. We've crossed actually 2 more sites, and they were both full already. And as far as we know, unless we have like a half a mile to the site we stayed at the first night, and unless somebody isn't in that site, or we find something between now and then, most of the sites are full, guys. At least that we know of. Like I said, there were a couple open down there next to that creek that we could have taken. There were 2 reasons with that we didn't want to take those, just to let you know. One, of course, we had no cell signal, which wasn't super detrimental. We could have done it. But 2, it was extremely buggy. Very, very buggy. Probably an area that I would not want to stay in during the summer. Be really good in the fall and early spring after the bugs have died or before they come out. And it would be as overgrown as well. But it would be really pretty down there. We've even debated possibly coming out at some point in the fall for a night or 2 out here just to see the fall colors after everything's kind of dying off a little bit. And maybe even hitting one of those sites. I don't know. We'll see if we do it. Alex will be starting college in the fall. So depends on if they have time. Maybe we can hit a weekend up. If they have a longer weekend or something. We'll see. But I'll be backpacking regardless. Pretty flat trail, easy through here. Not too bad after we got up that incline. That incline actually wasn't bad. It was just first thing in the morning type incline. Well, first thing in the day because it wasn't really morning by that point in time. We was lazy last night. But
that was the whole point of this trip. We were kind of supposed to relax a little bit when we had such a stressful weekend for graduation.
Yeah. Because
they planned a lot of those like events that you do during graduation all together. Like it was in the span of 4 days.
Yeah.
All up on us.
Exactly.
We were working, trying to get stuff done for that. And
yeah.
It was a rough weekend. So this was supposed to be more relaxing. So it was okay that we were a little lazy.
Well, you figure we organized the party for you and had the graduation ceremony last Saturday and the party the same day. And then we went out to dinner on Friday. Yeah, it was definitely a very busy week the last week. This week's been a little bit more tame. And then, of course, we were able to come out and do this. Alex really wanted to do a backpacking trip right after graduation. So may not get to do that 3rd night like we talked about. But we did have 2 great nights. 3 great days. If we happen to see a site, I'll let you know, but this is looking pretty overgrown, and like I said, we're probably no more than a 1/4 mile from our site the first night, And I don't know if we want to stay there even if there isn't somebody there, just for some fact once we did stay there already, and two, we didn't get the greatest sleep. It was not the most conducive site for tents. It would have been great for hammocks. So I think we might skip it. I mean, we've done the whole trail too, so that kind of helps. Well, the whole trail plus the division trail, which we're actually going to do a second time today if we go back to the Jeep. But I'm not seeing any sites through here. Now, granted, we were discussing it. In the fall, there probably are a lot more sites that we just didn't find because of the overgrowth. And of course, people who have been here actually already know about them too. So it's just something, you know, to keep in mind. You know, if you come in the fall, there may be more availability that you can find those sites. Plus, on top of that, if you can't find a site, if it's more open and less undergrowth, you can build a site. So it's a little bit rougher in the summer. Definitely, I would recommend if you come into this area to bring a hammock versus a tent, because it just seems like most of the sites are more conducive to a hammock, and there's more room for hammocks. You know, you can get more hammocks up than tents, and you know, it just seems like it would be easier to camp in this area, and you probably get a much better night's sleep versus being on a slant with a tent. Because both nights we were on a slant. One night we were going to the side, and the other night we were sliding towards our feet. Property boundary. Say this might actually be private property out this way, and this is state park. But we're gonna make our way. We'll let you know what we decide as we get over here a little bit further and figure out what we might do for the day. It is still definitely early enough. If we go home, we got plenty of time to drive before it gets dark. It's only like 1 o'clock, so no big deal there. So guys, we're back on the rock shelter trail heading towards the Jeep. Got about 3/4 of a mile at the most to get there. We did pass our site from the night before last, the first night we were here, and there's actually a couple in there set up with a tent enjoying our firewood from the night that night that we left. They were actually already got a fire going. Looked like they were cooking, I don't know, maybe a stew or something, because they had a big pot hanging over the fire pit. So kind of interesting, but they're in there. And that was actually the only site that we've seen since then. We've seen a couple of spots where we could make a site, but still not super flat or conducive to what we're wanting to do. This way. This way. You did that last time. But we're just going to head back to the Jeep and plan for the next trip and head home and enjoy the holiday weekend with my wife Jenny and everything. So that's going to be kind of cool. Back on this straight flat path here. Unfortunately, like I said, really didn't find any sites we wanted to stay at, and I'm not really stressing that. We've had a good trip. We've done the entire trail, seen a good portion of this park, so that's kind of cool. We definitely want to come back. I mean, it's only 3 hours away or so. It definitely is a place we intend to visit again because we've enjoyed it. It's a beautiful area. We know where specific sites are now and what would be conducive for what time of year, like if we come in the fall, winter versus the summer. And hopefully if we do come back during the summer this year at some point, we can do it during the middle of the week where maybe it won't be so busy and we can kind of have our pick of the sites. This being a holiday weekend, I really should have thought about it, but yeah, the sites are pretty full. We've seen a number of people where we've hiked. I actually smell smoke right now. It's probably from that fire. But we've seen a number of people hiking that are heading that direction. And like I said, people on the site from the first night we were here. So pretty full up again. I figure, as the night wears on, any sites that we pass that were empty will fill up as well. We will show you something up here in just a second. We actually had a spot where we thought about making a site, and it would have been really awesome, but unfortunately you're not allowed to camp on this particular trail. I had forgotten about that. You can camp on the low gap trail, but not this one. So we had actually thought about doing that when we passed it yesterday as we headed back to the Jeep, and then I remembered last night that you're not allowed to camp on this trail. I'm sure people probably occasionally stealth camp it, but we're not going to do that tonight. We're just going to head home, which will be fine. All right, guys, so we're almost to the Jeep, but we actually noticed this little area right here. We saw this yesterday. It's just off the trail, and we thought if we couldn't find anything, we could come in and tuck up in here somewhere with our tent, make a little fire ring that we could cover back up, you know, leave no trace. And in fact, on back this way, if we got desperate for water, which we wouldn't have, but if we had of, there is actually a little pond back here too. It's kind of murky. I really wouldn't want to get water out of this, and being this close to the Jeep, we have water on the Jeep already. We'd have done that, but you know, if it would have become necessary. But a little standing pond back here, not too bad. Lots of flowers over there. Kind of in the woods. We thought about doing that, but like I said, I realized last night and remembered it's illegal to camp on this trail. And with it being a holiday weekend, I wouldn't even take a chance on stealth camping, because there's a good chance, especially this close to a trailhead, that you may have a ranger come through and spot you, and if nothing else, tell you to move, which would be a pain. And if they didn't do that, they could also cite you, which would be, you know, that would really stink, having a citation. You know, for one, I think that goes on some type of registry, some certain areas, certain state parks, and also just the money having to pay for the citation would stink. But yeah, we're back on the trail. Probably 10-15 minutes we'll be at the Jeep and done with the trip. Getting ready to head home. Got a 3-hour drive home out to the east, back into Ohio, guys. Well, guys, we got done with the trail, got back over to the Jeep. We actually moved down a little ways because it's really crowded in the park today. A lot of people, so we moved down to a spot where there's not as many people, and maybe we get a video in before somebody shows up.
Yeah.
But letting you know, was a great trip. We enjoyed it. So what'd you think?
I really like this state forest. It's really pretty, and there's like a lot of greenery, and it's they've got like the outcroppings, some of the rock outcroppings that we didn't get on the first day were actually pretty nice, and I would like to see them again. We actually plan to go do that again, but
yeah, we didn't get those because the lighting was really poor at that point in time, because it was getting later in the day, and it's down in a valley. That's actually rock shelter, so
not like it's extremely hard trail. Like, it was a little rough in some sections, and like the gravel rocking does eat away at your feet, so that is a little bit of a concern. But it's still really good trail. Like, this was a great trail for me to get out for the first time in a while. Like, I enjoyed doing this trail.
Yeah. So we had fun. Yeah, and it was enjoyable. And it wasn't a lot of miles. It was a good break-in trip for Alex, where they haven't been out for a while. And then, you know, I was able to break my legs in really good. Second backpacking trip of the year, so kind of nice. It's a beautiful area. I do agree with that. And we had fun. Definitely had 2 good nights. Had good fresh food over the fire both nights. So that was fun. And a little bit of new equipment that we used, you know, between the skillet, the grills, things like that. That all worked really good, so that turned out well for us. Great trip all the way around. If you have enjoyed the video and the series of videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. You get notified when we do post new videos. Also, please like, because if you like the video and share the video, more people will get to see it. It helps us out, but it also affects YouTube's algorithm and makes it be able to be seen by more people. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, etc., go ahead and comment down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can with answers and comments back to what you've posted. But for now, we're signing off. We'll see you in the next trip on the trail, guys. Until then, guys, take care. Always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest.